Secretary to please schedule such for the Senate and the interested senators. If not, I can conduct it alone and share the information with my fellow senators. Still nothing from Comelec. Comsec, please.
Please.
Sorry, Comsec, Dana. Wala pa rin signal ang Comelec.
Good morning. Good morning, Ms. Chairman.
Yes, Jeannie.
This is Gina. Yes po. Based on the information mentioned by the National Privacy Commission po on the small number of personal information data, we verified that, and based on our overseas Office of Overseas Voting, we do not have that file in our possession because it is an Excel file. Ang mga files po namin for the voter information are in database, so it is not from Comelec. It was mentioned by our director of OFOB. Also,
you're talking about the OFW file.
Yes.
Whom are you responding? There have been a lot of allegations raised this morning against Comelec. To which one are you responding? Which party, please?
the one
I do not recall anything about an OFW file. Please explain further.
yes po, the one po that mentioned by the National Privacy Commission, that there are small files with
Small files.
personal information.
Yes, they said that some personal information was shared. There was no mention of the OFW.
Yes po, but during the meeting po with the National Privacy Commission, it was mentioned by our OFOB director that file.
Okay.
They showed it
You
to
have to
us.
tell me about it. I wasn't there at that meeting,
Yes,
and neither
sorry.
were the rest of this committee.
Yes po. They showed
Yeah.
us the file, and our OFOB,
Okay.
and our OFOB po mentioned that that file did not come from the Comelec because we don't have that file in Excel format.
And what can you say about the additional comment of the National Privacy Commission, reiterated by several others who are here, such as the CICC, that in fact it was not Comelec, but a third party engaged by Comelec, i.e. Smartmatic, that failed to keep these files secure? Anong masasabi po ninyo?
Because that file po, that specific file, we're not giving information to Smartmatic with personal information, with PII, personal identifiable information, because it is not needed in the system. So
Yes, I think that's what Commissioner Casquejo also said.
yes,
Na it could not have been from Smartmatic either, because only non-sensitive information such as voter precincts, centers, publicly available information is actually shared with Smartmatic. Totoo ba yun?
right po. The only information that we use for the configuration of our BCM and CCS are only the electoral data, and those are the candidates, project of precincts, a clustered precinct, city, municipality, province, and the number of seats and positions. There is
Right.
no.
I would like to inquire though, at the JCO, Commissioner Casquejo said that subject to further explanation by Comelec ICT, the most sensitive information is contained in a memory room inside a very secure physical location equipped with multiple safeguards. Na-intriga po kami dun sa memory room eh. Ano ibig sabihin nun?
That's memory configuration room po, where we do the configuration of each BCM and CCS.
Okay, this is shared or not shared with Smartmatic?
This is not shared with Smartmatic po because it's only the Comelec who has control of the memory configuration room.
Yes, I don't know how it quite works, but Attorney Ivan Uy, like myself, are quite agitated by this proposition. Yes, Attorney Ivan, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, speaking about the memory configuration room, in the past elections, Madam Chair, the memory configuration room is only located in the Santa Rosa site, where
Yes.
all the SD cards are configured to correspond to each of the VCMs that will be deployed in all different precincts. What concerns us now is that Comelec is creating several regional and provincial hubs. These hubs theoretically are supposed to be quick response centers where if there are any SD cards or VCMs that would be defective on election day, these are brought to those hubs for reconfiguration.
Yep.
So, which means that whereas in the past there was a very secure, single, well-guarded configuration room in Santa Rosa, now we have it scattered all over the provinces and all over the regions, without anybody knowing who are stationed there, who are guarding that, and there are no oversight from any of the political parties. So I'm a little disconcerted
Yeah,
about
that's
this.
right. So Director Florita, is it correct that we've spun out the Santa Rosa operations that we're familiar with from previous elections to different regions and provinces? Tama ba yun? Tama ba na na-regionalize and nakalat sa mga regions? Itong reconfiguration room for SD cards and VCFs. We're familiar with this kasi there were several SDs in Ilocos Norte that didn't function properly. They had to be sent all the way to Santa Rosa and then we had to wait till they all came back. So ngayon, ang sinasabi, iba't iba na ang ating mga reconfiguration sites. Tama ba yun?
It's correct po that we have a technical hub for every region. And for this election po in 2022, we have provincial hubs. But it is not a configuration room. It is just a place where
Where it came from you? I'm sorry. You're the one who said memory configuration room. Di ko nga alam yan eh.
the memory configuration po is in Santa Rosa.
Oh, tapos ano yung nasa region at saka sa province?
Sa region po and province, we call it technical hubs. That's where we copy a specific configuration in case the VCM SD card becomes defective. For example po, in NCR, we have one hub in Intramuros, and then if for example one clustered precinct for Manila is example 0001 becomes defective, instead let's go na lang po to a region like Mindanao, instead of going to Santa Rosa to get the replacement for that one specific precinct, what we were doing is from Santa Rosa we create that specific precinct only file and send it to Mindanao hub, and then they will just copy. They're not doing the configuration but
I
copying
see.
the specific.
So walang reconfiguration, they're just copying.
Wala po. That is only copying po. And the personnel assigned there are the OST and the ICT po. We have a MOA with the OST and the ICT to man the technical hubs.
So, sir, yes, I think Ivan still wanted the follow-up, please, and Hubert is recognized thereafter.
Yes, Madam Chair. In order to do that, you need what we call the EMS, the Election Management System, to do the reconfiguration. So, regardless of what, so if it is done in the memory configuration room in Santa Rosa, and then it is transmitted or sent remotely via email or whatever to the hubs, we will need assurance that the reconfiguration that the hubs are receiving are really from Santa Rosa and not from any other EMS that's operating in Novotel or in Antipolo or wherever, because that's where the interception can come in. So how do we assure the public that? And since these are regional and provincial hubs, shouldn't all the political parties, the watchdogs, be present there so that they can be sure that what is being swapped in the SD cards are not preloaded SD cards?
Alex, I think you were sending something on the chat also.
Yes, madam. I just found out that the way the Comelec send those files is a secure FTP process. But again, the point of Attorney Ivan is that there are no witness inside in case there might be a possibility of SD card switching.
Yes, I think Hubert also was raising his hand. Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Senator. I think in the past JCOC hearings, Madam Senator, ladies and gentlemen, this matter has been raised by us, Ivan, Alex, and the rest of the IT groups. No? And
Yes.
during that JCOC hearing, Commissioner Casquejo committed to allow physical
Yes.
presence of members of or representatives to the different parties or candidates in the regional and provincial hubs. If I may add, Madam Chair, Commissioner Casquejo not only committed to allow physical presence in the regional and provincial hubs, he also allowed physical presence in the data center or where the Meet Me room is located or where
Correct.
the transmission router server is located as well. And he also likewise committed that that all ERs from all the precincts, 106,000 precincts, will likewise be posted in the public website or the Comelec website. So with our experience now in the digital signature issue, which he likewise committed and in fact admitted that a resolution has been issued, now we are hearing that that only selected areas will have a digital signature. Of course, the ICT and the rest of the CAC are doing something about it as well. Baka naman yung mga commitments ng iba, baka mabaliwala. That's why I'm raising that again, Madam Chair.
Yes, yes, Attorney Hubert. The issue of the digital signatures has surfaced, given the complaints of the DepEd, that after all our boasting and bragging about the capacity for digital signatures at every point in time, at every phase in the process, it appears wala ng digital signature na naman. Paano ba, Director Florito? Nalito ako dun eh. Kasi nagre-reklamo ng bonggang-bongga yung DepEd. Kasi they underwent a quite rigorous process and a comprehensive process of collecting the data signature, the digital signatures of their teachers. Ano ba mangyayari sa mga digital signature na? Maybe Secretary Cainti can tell us also kasi starring din dyan yung DICT eh. Director Florita, ano nang update natin sa digital signature? Kasi isa pang security issue yan eh.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Based on the last meeting with the steering committee of the Comelec and the CAC
Yes.
last Monday, it was mentioned by Commissioner Marlon that all the canvassing board of canvassers will have a digital signature, but on the side of the electoral board, there will just be a selected areas to implement the digital signature, mainly because of the lack of the equipment that we will need to copy from the electoral board digital signature to the iButton.
Parang nalito ako nun eh, kasi pinagmamalaki natin na may capacity na tayo for the first time to give digital signatures. may we seek a written clarification from Comelec as well as DepEd kung ano talaga ang mangyayari kasi nalito kami lahat. Up to
Yes,
now,
Madam.
nalito pa rin.
Yes,
Parang
Madam Chair.
pick and choose. You'll just pick and choose electoral boards to sign? Paano naman yun? Anong silbi nun?
Madam Chair, can I just request for a written report on it?
Sige, oo, better. Kasi litong-lito na kami. Kasi parang ang labo, basta alatsama na lang kung sino may digital signature. Ganun ba yung naintindihan ko?
If I may,
Yes, please, Dana.
yes. We received, ma'am, from Comelec a letter dated March 7, 2022, explaining, ma'am, about the partial implementation of digital signatures, ma'am.
So is that adequate, or does if Director Florita or the other Comelec IT have stuff to add, can we just urge you to submit as much information and updates as you have regarding this digital signature? Ang yabang kasi natin sabi natin kayang-kaya na, biglang partial na lang.
Yes,
Also,
Madam Chair.
Comsec, if you will also provide the same paper from Comelec regarding digital signatures to Attorney Hubert, Attorney Ivan, and the rest of our IT crew who are here, Alex Ramos, and so on, para mabasa nila at higit nila naintindihan kaysa sa akin.
Okay
I
po, ma'am.
also urge that you provide the same to USEC Alain Pasqua at DepEd, who has been jumping up and down about the failure to implement this completely.
Okay po.
So, Comsec, ibigay mo na lang sa kanila para mahimay ng maigi at hindi ko masyado naintindihan. DICT, you were saying that you're in perfect consonance with the Comelec and the ability to implement the digital signatures. Ano ba nangyari? Baka si Secretary Manny may masabi sa atin, bakit partial na lang po tayo?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Tanungin ko po, ang effort to use the digital signatures is a joint effort with DICT and DepEd. So kailangan i-enroll lahat ng teachers at magkaroon sila ng digital signature na gagamitin para sa mismong halalan.
Okay.
Okay, so na-enroll sila lahat, ma'am. Hinabol namin lahat with the help
Yun na
of DepEd
Effort yun eh.
300,000 enrolled ang teachers.
Kaya nga.
Tapos, ang way para magamit yan sa mismong halalan, gagamitin yung I button. We were informed last February 18 by Comelec na sayang nga, kasi na-enroll na lahat. Pero ang kulang po kasi hindi yung mismong I button, kung hindi yung kagamitan para idugtong sa isang server para doon ida-download at bitbit ng teacher yung I button. So kumpleto, sapat ang nabiling I button pero nagkulang sa download cable, yung parang pangdugtong. Kung kaya, mula nung February 18, nagsulat
Bakit ganon? Ba't hindi tayo nasabihan? Di ba you committed this as early as 2019, right after the elections? Binibigan na natin to eh.
Apo, natapos po namin, ma'am, ang aming commitment sa inyo, ma'am. Pero ang pagbili po ng iButton at kagamitan ay nasa Comelec po yan. At nasabihan po kami na dumaan naman po sila ng ilang beses ng pag-attempt ng pagbili. In fact, I think they have tried 3 times to buy. So again, tama po
What are you saying? There was a failure of bidding in Comelec?
for the purchase of the iButton and the attachments, ma'am. But that will have to be for Comelec to answer, ma'am. Kami po ay informed lang po on that, ma'am. Di po kami ang nag-undertake ng pagbili ng kagamitan. Ang trabaho po namin sa DICT at DepEd ay masiguradong ma-enroll ang mga guro, mga electoral board na magkaroon ng certificate na gagamitin doon sa kagamitang yon.
Senator Coco, ba't ganon? 3 beses magfe-failure of bidding pag essential I-button to safeguard PKIs, etc. Pero kapag MOA sa Rappler, mabilis pa sa alas 4. Joke lang. Sige, Senator Coco.
Ang narinig ko, sufficient I-buttons daw ang nabili. Tama?
Wala nang kable.
Oh, yung kable. Yung I-button cannot be shared, but cannot the cable be shared?
They are shared po. Ay, sorry,
Oo,
Madam
ayun.
Chair. May I answer?
Yung 1:1 na I-button yata, di ba 1:1 po yun? Those who serve in the board in the precinct must have 1 I-button. So 1:1. But ang reason na narinig ko kasi kable, download cable.
Ayan nga, oo.
Common sense na tayo. If we want our elections to be successful, bawal ba mag-sharing ng kable? Hindi ko na naintindihan ito. Ano ba?
Kaya nga hindi. There are no kable at all kasi 3 times nag-failure of bidding.
At does Comelec confirm that? There is no cable at all. But ma'am, meron kasing pilot na. Ang nangyari,
Hindi dati.
ang naintindihan ko ngayon, hindi na universal yung digital signature because selected areas na lang. Meaning to say, merong successful na may I-button at may kable na na-download niya. Merong successful areas, may areas na hindi. So, does the Comelec confirm that? Medyo nalito na rin po ako eh.
Director Florita, please. Nagpapanik po kami dito. Simple lang.
Yes, Madam Chair. Since 2021 po, in first quarter of 2021, we already have biddings for the network adapter. Ang tawag po kasi doon sa connection is the network adapter that will connect the I-button reader and the I-button to the laptop. Pero because po of pandemic, yung mga supplier po, hindi sila nag-join during bidding. So we already had 3 failures of bidding na nga po. Actually po, because we cannot get the 2,000 lang naman po ang kailangan namin. Because we cannot get the 2,000, we decrease that into kahit nga po mga na lang 1,000 and then naging 200 na nga lang po. But still po, hindi kami makabili because based on the supplier, they can only deliver on December. Tapos na po yung election. So
200 pieces and they can't deliver? Sure
yes,
tayo?
they cannot deliver na raw.
Complicated yung cabling yan?
Specialized po kasi siya for I-button only. Hindi siya yung universal na adapter. What we have in Comelec po is only 29 pieces. That's why po Comelec decided to have na lang pilot test dun sa 29 na yon that can be shared by the municipalities of those areas. I will request na lang po yung Comelec for a written report on that.
Yes, please. We'd like that in writing, please. Attorney Ivan, please.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Well, first of all,
Parang kung ganyang network, kung ganyan ang network adapter, di ba, dapat lumipad sa China, humingi sa China, masya-shopping yan sa grocery, miski sa ang kalat dyan. Okay, Attorney Ivan, please. Sorry. I couldn't resist.
Well, sa report that will be submitted by Comelec, perhaps we can give a deadline, no? Because the report might come after the elections and that will be
Okay, Attorney Ivan. Di naman siguro. Yes, Director Florita, you're enjoined to urgently submit that.
Any date particular, maybe by Monday or Tuesday?
Simple lang naman. Ano ba nangyari? Sino ba nag-bid at bakit kapalpakan? Siguro naman pwede mag-order sa China. Baka sa Lazada at sa Shopee, baka mahanap ko pa yan.
Secondly, Madam Chair, the PKI system of the ICT can actually be deployed directly to the VCM without using the I-buttons.
Okay.
So it can be loaded
That's true.
directly.
Pwede naman direct. Well, yung I button is just additional, di ba?
Then you can forgo using the I button and have the teachers input their digital signature directly on the input screen of the VCM.
Ayun pala, so that it's no longer selective given that you only have 29 pieces of cable.
Yes, then it can be done in all, because the I button is just an extra hardware to load the digital signature. But if it's loaded directly to the VCM and the teachers can just key in directly through the input mechanism of the VCM, then that should suffice.
Any thoughts, Director Florita? You don't need to commit. This is possible, correct?
We have to look at it pa po because as of now we already have from Mindanao to Region 4 configured. Yun po kasing strategy on putting it in the system. That will be on the configuration. So malapit na po kaming matapos sa configuration. And everything is tested na.
So what you can do is for those that are already configured, you can use the I button. For all of those that you will not be using the I button because of lack of cables, you input it directly to the VCM. Then you'll have digital signatures for all your VCMs.
Director, is what you're saying that the majority has actually been configured? That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way to BARM. Is that correct?
Yes, Madam Chair. And ang remaining na lang po siguro natin is because ongoing na yung 4, so it's only Region 3 to NCR.
Hindi, may NCR ka pa, may 4A, 4B ka pa.
Yung 4 po is ongoing na.
A and B?
Yes.
Eh,
Yes,
pero pwede naman diretso na. Can we consider that? Anyway, I think we need an explanation regarding these digital signatures and the failure to activate the entire system. I would also like to inquire from Comelec. There are several queries here already. That Comelec has disallowed the national printing, the presence of anyone in the national printing office. No political parties, no candidates, no NGOs, no one. Is that correct? And why? Kasi ang promise sa atin, at every stage of the game, pwedeng manood ang NGO, pwede rin makita ng mga political parties representing their candidates, pero bigla ngayon, pinagbawalan na yata, ang pagkaintindi ko. Alex also has some input on this. I believe that the presence of any witnesses at all have been prohibited. Is that correct?
That's correct, ma'am. We have an official letter from the office of Commissioner Casquejo.
Yes, if you would therefore provide the committee with the same letter, and I will forward it with a request for an explanation to Comelec.
Yes, Madam Chair. I will forward.
Okay, thanks very much. Is that, I'm sorry, please identify yourself. I think you're raising your hand, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes, sino nga
This
yan?
is Helen Aguila Flores,
Helen.
Madam Chair. And I happen to be the Vice Chairperson of the Printing Committee.
Okay.
May I please be allowed to say something regarding the issue?
Yes, Director Flores is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. While it may be true that our chairperson of the Printing Committee, Commissioner Casquejo, has temporarily requested that observation be postponed, it is not true that there is a definite denial of request to observe the printing process, Your Honor. I think that from what he said during one of our meetings, Your Honor, it will be allowed in due time, Your Honor.
In due time? Pag natapos na yung printing, patay?
Hindi po, Your Honor. Hindi po.
In
I
any
know
case,
because we have discussed regarding that, Your Honor. It's just that during the time that this request came, the alert level at that time was still, I think, number 2, if I'm not mistaken. But with the recent development, I think the response of the committee will soon be adjusted, Madam Chair.
is that
Madam Chair.
sufficient, Alex, please?
No, the reason here is security. As far as the response of the Office of Comcasquejo, there is an observation room that is confined. It's not even interactive to anyone. So we cannot find the reason why there is a security issue. Maski medical issue, because it's a very enclosed observer's room that we have been using since 2016. And we cannot find the reason, the security issues or medical issues on that matter.
Tsaka, Madam Chair,
Yes, Senator Coco, please.
ganito yun eh. No matter what the alert level is, no matter what the pandemic
Hindi pwede yun.
situation is, for as long as Comelec is undergoing election-related activities, they should allow witnesses. Ganun po yun eh. That is the nature of the of the activity. The people must be allowed. So do not use the pandemic as the reason and then tuloy yung Comelec activity, which should be open to the people for transparency's sake. Ganun po yun. So ganun po ang pag-argue ko ron. So
Yes.
Comelec, please do not use alert level because kahit na strictest alert level and yet you are able to print ballots, you allow witnesses.
Correct. I'm in full agreement with Senator Coco. Kung talagang napakahigpit ng alert level, sabihin natin 2 or 3, di sana nahinto pati yung printing. Totally tapos. Diba? Pero hindi pwedeng tuloy-tuloy kayo, pero hindi kayo nagpapapasok ng tao, pambirang buhay yan. Somebody's raising their hand. I'm not certain who it is. Yes, Attorney Hubert, please.
Madam Chair, since 2016, we've been allowed to observe not only the printing of the ballots, even in the configuration of the SD cards in Santa Rosa warehouse.
I understand that no one's allowed to go to Santa Rosa either. What's going on?
Exactly, Madam Chair, so which is very concerning for all of us, kay Botlim, madaling mapakiusapan at he allowed every observer to be present. But all of a sudden, merong pagsisikip or
Was that also in written form? Did you also get a letter prohibiting the entry to Santa Rosa? Naku, Senator Coco, that's a very important part of the electoral. So, Attorney Hubert, did you get a letter also like Alex did?
Madam Chair, walang advice sa amin.
Paano nyo natuklasan na hindi pwedeng mag-observe?
Kasi si Alex, Madam Chair, we're coordinating with Alex, Madam Chair, on the all of a sudden, sir, hindi na rin nagpapapunta.
Madam Chair, can I be heard?
Yes, Alex, please.
Every week I go to the gates to seeking entry. Every week.
And then, hindi ka pinapapasok?
Ayaw, I cannot force the Comelec guards to do that for me. So sabi na, walang coordination, walang authority. Same statement for the last 12 weeks.
Okay. And Attorney Hubert, you have the same experience that you were forbidden entry without any formal advice. Is that correct?
No, but I'm sure we have people who would go to the area, and these same people are prohibited from entering.
Yun nga. So, hindi sila
Yes, Madam
pinapapasok
Chair.
ganun din.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay. So, we now have complaints of Comelec disallowing entry in the printing of ballots at the National Printing Office, in the configuration of the SD cards in the Santa Rosa Technical Facility. Senator Coco, what should we do?
Madam Chair.
Yes, who is that, please?
Siguro, ma'am, may I respond?
Yes, please.
Siguro ngayon, I think Comelec is also present. They have heard our sentiment, our position.
Oo.
Ganito na lang po, basta what used to be done transparently and before the eyes of witnesses should continue to be done transparently and under the eyes of witnesses, no matter the pandemic situation. We cannot use the pandemic as the reason to change rules, especially with regarding sensitive activities which should be witnessed by observers. So, narinig naman siguro ng Comelec po yun. Maybe a formal letter from the committee rin. I so move that we also bring this up formally with Commissioner Casquejo,
Yes.
so that he can review his the rules that he has issued, Madam Chair. Yun lang po yung basta ganito. Lalo na ngayong panahon, wala na siguro live with COVID na, Madam Chair.
Kaya nga wala nang zero COVID.
Kahit alert level, ito for the record, sasabihin ko kahit alert level 10, kung meron mang ganun and yet Comelec continues to print something, to encode something which should be witnessed, therefore they allow witnesses kahit anong alert level. Yan lang po yung aking position, Madam Chair.
Yes, I'm in full agreement. Attorney Ivan, I believe, or kanina, Director Florarita, parang you were raising your hand. Is that correct? Director Florarita muna, pagbigyan natin yung Comelec.
Madam Chair, it's not true po na hindi papakita ang warehouse because we have scheduled, and during the CAC meeting din po last Monday, it was announced.
Dalawa na yung pinagbabawalan yung tropa ni na Alex Ramos at si Attorney Guevara. Pare-pareho silang hindi
Yes.
pinapapasok
Because po, we are securing yung warehouse because ang configuration is there. Ang mga security guard po will not allow you to enter if you don't have an approval before entering the area. Pero we have a schedule po on.
Pero bago to Director Florita, bago tong nangyayari. Dati naman labas-pasok
Even before po, we have a security protocol that you cannot enter if your name is not in the list.
Attorney Hubert, would you like to comment? Alex, I think you've had requests as early as last year because we've had hearings on this. Parang nag-request na sila at magpa-accredit sila nung pa
Madam Chair, may I be heard? This is Myla Villanueva, PPCRV.
Yes, all right. Comelec, are you done? Sorry.
Yes,
let her finish, please.
I want to mention po that we have a schedule of walkthrough sa warehouse on March 14.
Pero walkthrough yun. That's not the legal requirement of witnesses present in all significant electoral processes.
But they can witness naman po
They're not witnessing, it's just a walkthrough. Magde-demo lang kayo
No, it's another activity po on March 22 naman it's an end-to-end demonstration of the BCM and CC.
Oh, sige. I have a third complainant here. I believe it's PPCRB. Ms. Myla Villanueva, please. Kanina pa.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to support Ma'am Jeannie that there is a walkthrough. However, this is very different from the request of all the observers. We were allowed easy access in the past. Now, we do understand there's a pandemic, but we have been constantly writing. And while there is a pandemic, we also requested that live streaming be done. It's very easy to set up a camera to allow everyone in the nation to see the floor at a distance if it was a pandemic issue. But like you have said, it's already level 1 and we constantly request to be allowed inside the NPO and Santa Rosa. Aside from the walkthrough, if that can be granted, we will be very grateful. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, PPCRB. Tama yun kasi Ang gusto natin, daily observation ng NPO, ng Santa Rosa SD configuration. Hindi naman pwede isang walkthrough, demo-demo lang isang araw. Kailangan nakatutok. Live streaming is a very good suggestion as well. And like you said, perfectly easy to set up. Yes, Comelec, please, Director Flororita, any response? Are you open to this? Kasi hindi pwedeng, hindi pwedeng sekreto yan eh.
Yes, Madam Chair, I will raise.
Napaka-importante ng eleksyon eh.
Yes, Madam Chair, I will raise the issue with the steering committee head po, si Commissioner Casquero.
Thank you very much. And Attorney Ivan Uy.
Yes, Madam Chair. Well, what concerns me po is the information of Director Florita that they're practically almost done with the configuration and that only a few areas are left for configuration. So,
tapos na, wala naman nakaalam.
So what is there to observe? We don't know what they put in the configuration.
Tama, tapos na eh.
Tapos na. Maybe that's the reason.
Florita, kung tapos na yung buong Pilipinas, sabi mo, tatatlong region na lang natitira. Ano pa i-observe namin ito?
Oh, how do we know what's inside those configuration? Nobody saw that. No, nobody saw them.
Yes, Director.
The configuration I'm mentioning po is the creation of the SD card with configuration, but the process of the pre-election logic and accuracy test is not yet done. Nandun pa lang po kami.
Yun na lang natitira. Pero yung SD configuration, medyo bloody yan.
It's only the creation of SD po. But after we prepare yung SD, it undergoes pa doon sa QA before we do the clustered precinct. One pa lang po muna yun. As I mentioned po, yung Region 4, one SD card pa lang po yun. But on the quality assurance, which is also performed doon sa memory configuration room, is nasa Region 6 pa lang po.
Quality control na lang ang sinasabi mo.
No, but doon po nag-i-start ang process. QA first, then before namin i-produce yung SD card of all the precincts, and then it goes to kitting. Sa QA po nag-i-start yung process ng configuration.
Are you reassured? It doesn't look like anyone is very happy. Attorney Hubert, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. No? Siguro, hindi ko alam kung na-observe ni Madam Director na for the past electoral exercise, every day po may tao po tayo dyan para mag-observe ng proceeding. Whether pre-lot siya, whether configuration siya, maski packaging pa lang and deployment, may tao po tayo dyan. Because we need to observe every step of the way po, no? Para lang, it's also to help Comelec, no? Kung if we're assured that our level of confidence is pretty high in the system, it will also benefit Comelec. But because na ito na naman tayo, para one step, two step forward na tayo, bigla na lang 3 steps backward tayo, no? Without allowing observers to be present, no? I agree with Ma'am Myla, no? Madali naman mag-setup eh. Pwede naman mag-live stream tayo, no? In fact, that also been requested also before, not only in writing but also verbally, no? But I don't understand why there's some hesitance on the part of Comelec to allow even just a live streaming, no? But again, ma'am,
kasi pinapanood naman yan eh.
Huli ko na, ma'am, sasabihin ito, ayoko na maging sirang plaka, Madam Chair, no? Nandiyan na tayo. Okay. Matatapos na yung configuration, okay. Ang nire-request ko lang, Madam Chair, at ito committed ni Commissioner Casquejo during the past JCOC hearings, no? Number 1, yung pag-post ng election return sa public website. Importante na po yan. Bago pa ma-transmit, bago pa ma-press at ma-transmit at pumunta pa sa MBOC, mapunta pa sa transparency server, i-post na natin ang ER dun sa public website ng Comelec. Okay. Number 2, allow naman physical presence na rin. Diba? Kung hindi nila ina-allow sa Santa Rosa warehouse, hindi nila allow physical presence sa National Printing Office, ito naman sana i-allow naman nila physical presence sa data center kung nasaan yung transmission router server or yung meet me room. At pangatlo, allow naman physical presence sa provincial hubs at regional hubs. Importante po doon. So, sabi may issue tayo sa switching of SD cards, at least meron tayong physical presence para at least to deter any issue or any problem that may arise later on SD card switching. Yan lang po, to build up confidence also of the voting public. Tatlo lang po yan, ma'am. Huli ko na po sasabihin yan. Thank you.
At saka, sa totoo lang, hindi naman dapat hinihingi yan. Required na yan talaga na may physical presence, may testigo, it's in full view of the public. I think Alex earlier had some information regarding the NPO na halos lahat ng balota na imprenta na rin. Is that correct? We call on Mr. Alex Ramos.
It's an inside report lang, ma'am. So we are still really in a quandary what's happening inside.
So ano nangyayari sa NPO? Can we ask the Comelec please? Mukhang may himala at halos tapos na raw lahat ng balota pero walang nakakakita dahil walang pinapapasok. Tama ba yun?
Madam Chair.
Yes, please. Who's that? It's Director Helen.
Flores po, opo. Madam Chair, the percentage of printed ballots as of now is 66.4. It's not true that 64.44 million ballots as indicated in the chat.
Regardless, the majority of the ballots, Director Helen, with all due respect, have already been printed without any knowledge or witnesses from the political parties, the NGOs, and the general public. Bawal yon.
Madam Chair,
Yes, please.
may I please also cite that out of the 66.4% printed ballots, because there is another process which is called verification. Verification is still also ongoing, Madam Chair, at 47% right now. And ballots exited is at 42%, Madam Chair. So there is still a big percentage that has yet
Yes,
to
but
be
Director,
verified.
32% have exited. What does it mean? Na-deliver na yan?
They have already been turned over to the Packing and Shipping Committee, Your Honor.
All of this in deep, dark secrecy? Ganun ba yun?
Madam Chair, sorry about that, but there were plans to, in fact, when Chairman Abbas was the chairperson of the printing committee,
There's no need
there
to
were
say
plans
sorry to
live
me.
stream.
It's the law we're violating here.
Sorry po, there is actually a plan to live stream the process, Madam Chair. It is in the works. However,
Yeah, it is in the
meaningful-
works. You know, you just set it up really quickly, but 64%, 66.4%, natapos ninyo, hindi ninyo pwedeng tutukan ng cellphone tsaka computer. Ang bira naman yata yan.
Madam Chair, please, I will relay everything to our chairperson, Madam Chair. All of the comments and what have been discussed in this hearing will be relayed to our chairperson, Madam Chair.
Senator Coco, pwede ba yung ganun? Paano ba yan?
Mahirap kasi ang eleksyon mismo hindi man pwede i-live stream din eh. Kailangan there are really the nature of the activity kasi is it should be it's highly political. Siyempre, people are interested, so dapat open talaga. So sayang yung mga in the works, mga ganun, at 60% na of the printing done, and then we're still probably bidding for the CCTV camera, yun ang problema. So kasi from the very start po sana aware na po yung Comelec of the sensitivity of the activities, that people really need to be to have access. whether interested parties like candidates or those interested in our democratic processes. May mga taong ganun eh, non-partisan but they are interested in our democratic processes and procedures. So sayang, I mean, how long has Comelec been in existence, Madam Chair? May mga ano na yata, half a century na rin. Alam na dapat nila po yan.
Ay, nako. Yes, Attorney Ivan. Mukha kang diskumpiyado ang balita.
Opo. Well, actually, just to add to that, I'd like to also recommend that if there are any incidents where the SD cards are found to be defective and brought to the configuration or to the hubs and it is returned, that Comelec required that all those precincts that have those reports of those incidents go through mandatory manual count, just to assure the public that there was no SD card switching. Maybe
Ito na yung hybrid natin na
Opo.
hindi pumapasa.
Itong hybrid natin, so it will not be hybrid on all, only on those that have serious incidents where the SD cards were actually pulled out and replaced. So back in 2019, I think there were 1,000 precincts. So it's not all 100,000. So that will be very manageable. Before it is transmitted, if an SD card is changed, there should be a mandatory manual count before transmission, just to validate the contents of the SD card. See, at the rate it's going with all this disallowing observers, baka tapos na yung election, hindi pa nagma-May 9
Yes, one last comment from Ms. Kimson, please.
Good afternoon again. If I may add to what Ivan said, I think the audit or the counting should be physical as well for any system that has to be rebooted. Because there has been discussions that when you reboot the system, it automatically nulls the votes that have entered already. So just to add to what Ivan said, not only the exchange of cards, but if the system has a problem and a technician has to come in and do anything with it, then I suggest that that also be moved to a manual count, please.
Okay, we take note of that, and we will relay to Comelec, even as they have representatives here. Is there anyone who would like to add to this discussion? All kinds of problems have been raised. At this juncture, I'd like to round up, given the lateness of the hour. Firstly, that this committee is willing to conduct an executive session at the earliest possible opportunity. Since the JCOC has had great difficulty doing this, I would like to undertake this on the part of the Senate so that the CICC, the NPC, and the others could be free to speak and share such information as they may have. At the same time, if it would be possible, ComSec, for the convenience of everyone, patawag na natin ang Smartmatic. Siguro, maghi-hearing pa ba tayo ng hiwalay niyan? I think there's no choice. At least a quick hearing just to understand what Smartmatic's role and position on all of this is. So, kailangan yata tayong mag-hearing ng madali. Ideally, on or before or after the executive session. And thirdly, of course, we request from the Comelec an explanation, even informally or verbally, regarding the alleged refusal to conduct electoral proceedings in the full view of the public, the concerned candidates and political parties, as well as the NGOs. So, yun ang hinihingi natin sa lalong madaling panahon. Sana magtipon-tipon tayo ng Comelec kasi nagre-request kami. This is very urgent. Okay? And please provide us also, finally, Comelec, the update on these digital signatures the I-button and such other issues as have been raised today. Medyo matagal kayo mag-submit ng request, kaya kahit informal, kahit text na lang ang tawag, at least naintindihan ko na narinig ninyo kami. But these are very, very serious concerns. The right of suffrage cannot be compromised by the unwillingness or sense of inconvenience on the part of officialdom to allow witnesses at every juncture of the process. So with that, if there are no other comments, the Senator present, Senator Pimentel, shall we adjourn muna or suspend? Let us suspend the hearing for today, given that there's still business to be taken up.
So I move to suspend, Madam. Thank you.
Thank you very much. There being no objections, we suspend the hearing of this committee on electoral reform and people's participation, and joining all the technical working groups already constituted to begin their work as soon as possible. Thank you to all our resource persons, most of all our NGOs. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat.
Thank you very much, Madam
Thank
Chair.
you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I can
Senator.
offer you a hybrid remote lunch, but have a good lunch. Thank you.
Salamat
Thank
po.
you,